What's going on, MRT family? Welcome to Reality After Dark. When I cover whatever I want. Well, I guess Reality After Dark was just basically something that was born out of my weird sleeping habits and sleeping patterns where I fall asleep and then I happen to wake up at, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock sometimes, and I can't sleep. And normally I would sit in my bed and watch YouTube or toss and turn trying to get back to sleep. But then I just decided, hey, why not make this a thing where I get on here and I talk to y'all until I get tired, and then I call it a day. All right. So how y'all doing? Okay, so before I even start, when I woke up, I don't know exactly what time this happened, but when I woke up, I saw the news about the plane crash in Washington, D.C. I think from what I saw that there was no survivors and they're just basically recovering the bodies. There's a plane that crashed into a helicopter, and yeah, I don't think there's any survivors. So, condolences to those who lost their loved ones in that crash, because that is terrible news. So I just wanted to start right there. It's actually a scary thing for me also because I am not the biggest fan of flying. It might not seem like that because I do get on the plane. As anyone who has followed my page knows, probably 3 to 5 times a year, which is not that much, but I make my annual trip to Canada once or twice for the year, and then I usually have 2 or 3 other destinations. I'm getting on a plane later today, to go to Michigan to attend my uncle's funeral, which is not that long of a flight. Anything can happen. I know these occurrences are rare, but it's still scary when you hear about them. Yeah. So, what am I going to talk about today? Well, today was a pretty good day. I got up in the morning, like you guys saw, and I followed through with my routine. I think I'm going to spend some time this weekend. Well, it's hard to do those things during family gatherings. I don't know if family gathering is the appropriate term, but it is a family gathering because I know there's going to be a lot of my family there. But if I do get some spare moments to myself, I am going to spend some time writing down some of my goals and trying to figure out what it takes to achieve those things, because that's the thing that has been lacking in my life for probably a few years now. because I've had goals and I've had things that I've reached. Like for an example, these interviews that I've done, they've been on my goal list. You know, I had a goal to interview Sam. I had a goal to interview Chaz. Chaz was less of a goal. No, I won't say that Chaz was a goal because Chaz actually made a tweet saying that he is doing interviews and he put out his email address and he said, reach out to me and we'll schedule something. And somebody sent me that tweet and I emailed him. Shuby, I happened to ask because I saw him. But I'll say that at least half of the interviews I did were specific goals of mine, but they were not goals that I put pen to paper and was like, I want to get this done. It was just more along the lines of, I would like to do this. And then I just happened to reach out to the people and they happened to say yes. But in terms of having a structured game plan for things, I've just kind of been taking things as they come and, you know, not really going towards any specific direction. And lately I've been thinking that I want to change that. And I have several things that I've wanted to do for a while that are just floating out there. But as you know, when you don't make things SMART goals, as they call them, specific, measurable, I'm not going to remember the whole thing. I think attainable, realistic. Forgot what the T stands for. Let me look it up real quick. Okay. Time bound. Okay. Time bound, time based. Okay. So I got 3 out of 5 right. Specific, measurable, attainable. I've heard the R as realistic. This specific one says relevant, but I think I've heard realistic before. And I knew the T was something with time. There's a couple of versions of this, I believe. But the point is, I haven't really made goals like that in the past few years. And I want to take the time to start doing that. Yeah, this one says realistic. Yeah, I knew that the one that I knew had the R as realistic. Not that that really matters. But it did feel good to get up in the morning and to do something that I planned to do instead of just getting up and doing something that I have to do or doing something that somebody else wanted me to do. You know, I was like, on Tuesday, because we're Thursday now, on Tuesday, before I went to bed, I was like, I want to get up. I want to go to the gym. I want to get in a workout in the gym, and then I want to eat breakfast. And that's what I did in the morning. The rest of my day was kind of free flowing, free for all. I kind of want to get the rest of my day more organized too, but something that somebody told me was like, when you have no structure at all and you're just trying to get back on track, don't try to do everything at once. Just try to get in, you know, one thing, 1 or 2 things, and build upon that. Make those 1 or 2 things your habits and then keep building upon that. I watched All Stars 5 as well. To me, episode 1 was a little on the underwhelming side. It's a little bit boring to me, but I chalked it up for it being a first episode. And I'm like, okay, the first episode, first of all, was only an hour episode, which was not even an hour. People said that with the commercials, it was actually about a 50-minute episode. And the majority of that episode, I feel, was just giving us background story of why people were rivals. They gave us a little bit of drama. There was like Nani and Turbo trying to have that conversation with each other. There was the whole thing with Johnny and Beth. What else? I mean, there were some other things, but I don't think that they were anything major. Nanny got on my nerves, looking for a room, and her crocodile tears to Turbo. Honestly, I thought that whole thing was weird because, and it's funny, I'm like, I was looking at this and I was thinking to myself, some of these rival pairs, they got screwed by being pairs. And some of these other rival pairs is like, y'all got lucky to be paired. Like an Amber and Fessy, yeah, they might not trust each other. And I don't know if they repaired their friendship, in the off season or whatever, but that's a strong pair no matter what you think. It's a strong pair to have together. Devin and Leroy, I know Devin particularly is trying to play up the rivalry for the camera, but yeah, they showed an instance of Leroy backstabbing Devin, but at the same time, brains and brawn, that's the way I see that pair. And a lot of people are like, this is Leroy's best chance at winning a final. I believe so, because with the exception of swimming, Leroy has always been strong enough to win a final, but he has not been strong at puzzles. They could be. I mean, they're one of the stronger pairs on the show. I wouldn't consider them as the strongest pair, but they're a strong pair, yes. Yeah, and I was like, I didn't really like Adam too much after the last season of All Stars and the way that he spoke about Steve. I thought that was just nasty and uncalled for. I really did. Yeah, I would love to see Leroy win too. He's been on a lot of seasons, as his partner alluded to. He's been on many seasons. He's made several finals also, but he has not been able to get that W. I hope he gets one this season. I don't really have a lot of my favorites on this season. Like, I did see the cast list beforehand, and I was like, it's not necessarily my favorite people in this cast. However, it's a challenge season, so I can basically rock with whoever's on the cast. But then after seeing the first episode, I was like, oh, I don't have a lot of people that I'm rooting for. Avery should run away from Adam. Yep. Yeah, so I thought that it was an okay episode. I wish that it had either been a longer first episode or that they had done what they do sometimes and release 2 episodes at the same time. But hey, Amanda was considered but declined because she was going to put with Tori. Yeah, actually, Nerys wasn't considered. Nerys was asked to do. Nerys made a video where she was actually asked, where she said that she was asked to be on Rivals, but then she said that based on her comments that she made about season 40, about the fairness of the elimination with Horacio, they either declined their offer or maybe they never followed up with her. And she thinks that it's based on her comments that she made about, the fairness of that elimination against Derek. And it probably was, because historically, people who have spoken out against production don't get callbacks. It even happened to Kara. I know that Kara had made some kind of comments about production. I don't know exactly what they were. I mean, I think I had seen some of them on social media, but I've heard Cast talk about that before, that she made comments about production and they were pissed about that. And that was part of the reason why they were not asking her to be on the show. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why Nerys never got an official offer, or they never followed through with maybe the verbal offer that they did give her. But I would have liked to see her on there with Jay, because that would have been. Some people don't like Nerys, but I like Nerys. I tell people that I consider Nerys the new Nanny, because if y'all remember Nanny from back in the day, there's still some drama to her, but she was really dramatic. She was really dramatic in her challenge heyday. But I don't love this particular group. But who knows? I mean, the previews look like it could get more interesting, and, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be on here for another few minutes because I am going to go back to sleep, because like I told y'all, today's the day when I'm leaving for a few days. I'm going to be out of here. But I did want to jump on here for a live because I am algorithming as much as I can. And by algorithming, I mean the more content that you put on, the more lives that you put on, is the more that YouTube assists you to an extent by boosting your rank in the algorithm. And in the off season, and when I say off season, I mean the 9 months that Big Brother is not on, it's a lot harder to get your channel out there, because for whatever reason during the Big Brother season, anything you put up gets way more traction. And I don't just mean Big Brother stuff. If I put up a video of me eating a burger and it was during the Big Brother season, it's going to get way more views than it would if I was eating the same burger in the off season. So I'm doing what I can here. And the traders is going to be showing today, but I'm probably not going to be able to see it today. I'm probably actually not going to be able to see it until next week. So I'm debating. It's so hard because being somebody who's on all these different platforms for these shows, if you can't get to a show for 3 days or 4 days, it's hard not to have the show spoiled. And I really don't want it spoiled for me, but I'm sure that I'm going to see the results before I actually see the episode. But I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode and how that plays out, especially for my guy Wes, because I'm really scared of Boston Rob coming for him when they're deciding on their kill. But the part that could be a saving grace for me is that the only name that Wes threw out there was Boston Rob. He didn't throw out Danielle or Caroline. So, and also Boston Rob strong armed them into a vote before. So I'm hoping that even if he does have a vendetta for Wes, they're going to be like, we're not playing your game. This is supposed to be the three of us, even though they're not all on the same page, clearly. There's going to be some drama amongst the traders, it looks like, based on the previews. But all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And I don't know when I'm going to be back on this thing, maybe in a few days. But as always, thanks for the support. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you all, and have an amazing night.